I'm your host, Donna Cates, and each week we'll dive into powerful stories, expert strategies, and practical tools to help you take charge of your financial future. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating a divorce, or simply looking to build your wealth with confidence, this is your space to grow, learn, and thrive. Let's get started with today's podcast. I'm excited to introduce you today to Beverly Jurenko, who is the owner of Inside Edge Consulting and a business coach at Mountain Biz Works. So, Beverly, we're really excited to dive deep into your career journey today. So, can you give us about a 90-second overview of what it is that you do and why you got into it? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Donna. And I really appreciate you inviting me to be here with you today. I'm a fan of your podcast and the work that you do, and supporting other women is so important. And that is one of the reasons I founded Inside Edge Consulting and my coaching business 5 years ago. It was after I had left a large independent um, publicly traded oil and gas company that went through a merger. And I found that what I really enjoyed was one on one conversations where I could support people to shift their perspective, see who they really are, and then grow into the person and the professional that they wanted to be. So I went into a program of coaching school and got certified as a coach with the International Coaching Federation. And I coach people to maximize their impact and grow personally because I truly believe that if you learn to be better, you can lead better.
Be better to lead better. I love that.
Yes,
And I'm
yes.
typing that out. Be better. That equals being better. Okay. I love it. That's awesome. So, and I'm curious to know what caused the career shift for you. You just said, "Hey, I'm had enough. I'm ready to do something different," or what did that look like?
Yeah, I think our personal journeys are so important. And for many years, I was focused on achieving and doing the best I can and working as hard as I could while raising a family, moving overseas for my husband's job, and just really trying to grow into the responsibility of raising two humans, keeping a marriage together, and being engaged professionally. And I think that being focused on achieving can be fulfilling, but only up to a point because we are humans and we need each other. And who we are at our core is so important. Everybody has their own hopes and dreams and desire to contribute. And they're trying, we're all trying to do the best that we can. So I felt that it was very fulfilling to embark on the journey of working with people one on one as a coach so I could give back. So many people have helped me along the way. And at this point in my life, I turned 61 this year. Um, it means a lot to me to give to the next generation of leaders, particularly women leaders, because I see so much potential in what we can do.
And that's so empowering. I know in my industry, and I'm sure it was the same for you in the oil and gas world, we women are the minorities. So we may not have a place at the table as frequently as the men do. So I think just coaching and empowering women is just a transformational thing that everybody's going to benefit from. So I would love for you to share with us, and speaking as a coach, um, I would love for you to share more about any big problems that you see in the industry and what you're doing differently, to solve that.
Yeah, I think I have consistently been in the minority in terms of my gender for pretty much all of my life, all of my working life, until I became a coach, where there are many women who are in the coaching industry. And I find that women Women are disadvantaged in a couple of ways. The first is something that they can do something about. We can show up knowing ourselves and being confident in our ability to lead and let go of some of the behaviors that we've been socialized to embrace, like saying sorry a lot and being putting ourselves down when we're talking to other people. I think there's an element of confidence and calm. And that's where the being is. When you know that you are capable and you've done the work and you have the ability and the vision, it's much easier to calmly advocate for what you think is right. So I think the first part is letting go of some of the behaviors that put us down in terms of how we show up in the workplace is the first thing that we can relearn so that we can develop our executive presence. The other part is systemic, and that's a harder one to tackle. For many, many years, I blamed myself for my not being where I wanted to be. And it's only now later in life that I look back and I realize that some of these issues were systemic. By being in the minority, I wasn't included in many of the social activities. By being the only female in the group, whether it was intentional or not, I was unable to develop the same level of trust and rapport with the men who were on my team. And there's also just a way that we relate to each other. I think it's part of our biological makeup that we tend to be drawn to people who look like, sound like, and have had a similar life experience to ours. So the men, while they have hung together and supported each other and had the opportunity to do so, could lift each other up. It was much harder for women to find that sort of community that supports unconditionally and helps each other and brings each other into deals and opportunities and enrichment opportunities because there simply aren't very many of us. So the systemic issue is one that we have no control over other than to keep working because each percentage point that we gain of women in leadership and women in upper positions in male dominated industries helps us. We have to keep climbing. Our progress has been slow, but we can't let up. We've got to keep growing our participation and putting more of us in leadership so we can model for the people coming up that they can do it too.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And I have to say, the fact that we women, I mean, doing what you're suggesting is what we're, I don't know, I wanted to say created, and that might not be the right word. We are natural nurturers, right? So when we can come together professionally and support one another and help build the confidence and all those things, that just makes all of us more powerful and helps us bring more people up with us. So that's clearly coming through, and that's what your efforts are in not seeing that other female as a competitor, but more as, oh, let's do this together. Am I right?
Yes, I think that is aspirational because the women that I've seen who are at the very top have had to work to be accepted by the dominant gender. And in doing so, many of them have had to let go the loyalty and the support they might have given to other women coming up because no one who is the only in leadership wants to be seen as someone who is advocating for people in their particular special interest group.
Mm.
They have bigger fish that they want to fry. They have an agenda, a vision, assets they want to acquire or develop, and that's what they want to focus on. They can't afford to stop and think about the younger women who are coming up or working together with other women. A lot of the time, that agenda from a business context takes the first priority. And I think that's an area that I've heard women in senior leadership express their regret later on that they hadn't been able to do more to help younger women. that they had, in effect, pulled up the ladder. And we all do what we have to do. I think that we have to accept ourselves and understand that each of us is going after our own personal agenda. But let me tell you, if you're a woman who is a CEO of a company or in the C-suite or an executive, it is not too late. You can put into place programs, you can step out, you can really try to create an effort now that you have the track record and the leadership and the financial and the social resources to do something. I challenge you. Why don't you go out there and create a foundation or a program or an internship that will help other women? It's possible.
I love that. And that's the thing because these women, when we say, hey, they pulled the ladder up with them, they were doing what they had to do to get ahead. And God bless them. It was, the hardest thing in the world, I'm sure. But now we have to kind of let our hair down a little bit and say, okay, I have something to give back now, like what you're doing and why you're doing the work that you're doing. That's awesome. So I'm really curious to know, if I know you work one on one and that's where your passion is, do you do any type of group coaching? Are you working just with individuals? Are you working within businesses like corporations and such? Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I work mostly with individuals because I really want to support what my client wants to do. Sometimes when you're hired by a corporation, there's an agenda that comes with it, and I really want to do what's best for my client. I do work with teams and I do group facilitation and diagnosis of culture and group coaching activities. That is fascinating work because how we show up individually impacts the rest of our team. And if we unpack that and can understand each other's motivations and our goals and who we are as a person, I'm not saying that people become best friends, but when we understand our motivations and how we're built, we can work so much better as a team. And I love helping team members, leadership teams, see how they can do that. In addition, I'm a member of the National Speakers Association Western North Carolina chapter, and so I'm a certified facilitator and a speaker and a motivational speaker. So I am available to come to your team and do motivational speaking workshops, also keynotes.
Mhm. That's awesome. So you are getting out there and making things happen. And I was just getting ready to ask what's making what makes you unique from other coaches. What are you doing that's so different from the next coach? What's going to distinguish you?
That is a great question, and I am humbled enough to say that I can't say for sure that I'm unique. All I can say is that I'm giving the best of myself from my heart. And where I come from is the desire to provide excellent service, to provide a safe place to see my clients for who they really are, to unpack the obstacles that are holding them back with no judgment or agenda. And hey, let's sit together. We're sitting together on your virtual porch, looking out at the mountains, and let's put together the path for you to live the life of your dreams.
I love that. That's so awesome. And I have to disagree with you. It does make you somewhat unique because not everybody is coming from that heart space. I mean, a lot of people, but not everybody. So that I would claim that is your uniqueness. That's just my opinion. That
Thank you. That means a lot for you to say that, Donna.
I feel it, and I feel your positive energy too. So I'd love for you to share with us a big challenge that you might have had or faced up to this point in your life, whether that's professional or personal, either way. How has that impacted and shaped the way that you're doing business today?
Yeah, I would say that when I graduated from Harvard Business School in 1991, my aspiration was to be the CEO of a Fortune 100 company. And I'm not there. I got married, I had two children, I moved 8 times in 30 years of marriage for my husband's job. And after the third move, those career opportunities kind of disappeared because if you're moving around too much, you bounce out of the recruitment funnel. People don't understand why you're moving around if they don't know you personally and they don't know your story. And I was moving overseas. So I moved to Argentina, to Belgium, to Washington, D.C., to Texas. I now live in North Carolina, and this is my last move. I promise you that. But moving like that and bouncing out of the recruitment funnel while raising two kids made me have to reinvent myself every time I arrived at a new location. And so, although my background, my professional background is eclectic, I fought to stay engaged by starting my own companies, doing different activities, keeping an open mind. I listened to what was calling me in that place at that moment and was fortunate enough that I could pursue it. I have the support of my husband in doing what I want because I guess I was moving around for his job, so why shouldn't I try to do what I want to do? Anyway, I was very fortunate that way. And it's had its ups and downs because it hasn't worked out the way I originally wanted, but it has worked out. I would tell you, Donna, there are many paths to happiness, not just one. And if you feel your own agency and your own empowerment and make peace with the mistakes that you've made and the way you have had ups and downs along the way, you can see that the journey is so beautiful. And I am just so delighted to be where I am at this time in my life.
And I love that. And I'm going to have to read from your intake form because it was so empowering to me. You were describing what something that does make you unique. Like, let me get it in front of me. Give me 2 seconds here. So you've kind of shifted from that focusing on achievement most of your life to being part of our wondrous world and of interests and joys, ups and downs and opportunities. How positive is that? I
I
love it.
think, thank you. I think every day is an adventure. And I've also started playing a lot of pickleball.
Yeah.
So every day there's another opportunity to have another fun pickleball game.
That is so fabulous. I've yet to try that. I'm going to have to give it a go, I think. But well, I certainly appreciate your being on the podcast with us today. What would be the best way for people to contact you if they want to learn more about you and possibly work with you?
Yes, you can find me for coaching on my website, www.beverlycoaching.com, because I'm Beverly and I offer coaching. So why not beverlycoaching.com? And the name of my company is the parent company or the I guess umbrella company is Inside Edge Consulting LLC. I'm a former competitive figure skater, so get the inside edge to accelerate your growth. So remember Inside Edge Consulting LLC, or you can find me on LinkedIn, Beverly Jurenko, Jurenko. I love to meet new people and I offer a complimentary let's meet up on Zoom and talk about you and what you're interested in doing because I'm open to meeting new people and love to explore new opportunities.
Well, and I encourage our listeners, if you feel stuck, you feel like there's something more out there for you, I think that this would be a great connection for you to make. So take Beverly up on her offer for that consultation. So thank you so much for being a guest today.
Thank you, Donna. It's been wonderful to be with you.
I hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, informed, and ready to take the next step in your financial journey. Remember, building wealth isn't just about money, it's also about creating a life that aligns with your goals and values. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with the women in your life who deserve financial empowerment too. Until next time, stay confident, stay empowered, and keep building the life you desire.